Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to discuss on the remaining topics of application programming interface. In the last video, we had a discussion on get method. Today, we are going to discuss the remaining methods like post method, put method and delete method. First, I will try to explain post method. In layman terms, post method is used to send data to server. Let's understand this with simple example of addition of two numbers. We have given two numbers as input using post method to a server. Now server will perform addition and will store the value. Suppose we have given 2 and 3 as input. Now server will calculate 5 as the output and will store the value. So this was the basic example of post method. Let's understand this with a real world example on post method. When you perform a sign up on Instagram, this is the real world example. You provide your username, your email address, your password, and we send this information to Instagram server. And Instagram saves this information and creates the account for you. So this is the real world example. You are providing the input and Instagram is storing those information. So this was all on the post side. Now we will be implementing the post using Fast API.
So let's understand Fast API implementation using post method. So I have listed all the steps that is required to implement Fast API for the post method. First step is import Fast API to create the API. Let's implement this. So you need to open first Visual Studio Code for this, as I have given the KT on that on my second video. First you can go on file and then you can click on open folder. Here you can create some folder API, suppose post, new folder, API post, suppose 1, like this. We will be selecting the folder here, don't save. So first step was, now we need to create the new file, main.py, it's py, rename main.py. First step was to import the Fast API library. So we will write the code for that. From Fast API, import Fast API. From Fast API. Fast API. Second, now moving again to our steps. Second is import base model from Pydantic to define the input data format. Here basically we are using this Pydantic library. This is used to provide the input format. Suppose we are sending the data to server for any operation and storing it. Then we require some format, particular format, but we are providing. Suppose we are providing JSON format or anything else that we need to provide using this Pydantic library. So calling this from Pydantic import base model. Then moving to the next step, create an instance of the Fast API app. As we are using Fast API, so we will create the object for the Fast API and will store in the variable called app. So what kind of input we are providing? Suppose we are providing the input in the JSON format. Here it is written, define a class number with two integer fields, num1 and num2. So we will be creating the class so that our server can read the file in the JSON format. We can provide the input in the JSON format so that server can perform its operation. Now typing class number base model. Here indentation num1 number int num2 int, then we need to provide the information. Then the next step is create a post endpoint add using a decorator. As we did in the get method, we need to provide like that. Suppose app dot post, and here we need to provide this endpoint at the rate app dot post. We are creating the app here. Defines a function that receives the data in the form of number class inside the function. So these all are basically 3 steps, means all the information that we are performing here. Suppose define add number, it is the same here, the number that we have defined, we are calling it, and num result is equal to num dot num1 plus num dot num2. Return result here we have created the file. Yeah, it has executed. Now uvcon file name main colon app reload. So it has hosted the file. Let's move to suppose here docs. Yeah, it has given post add, but we have created. So let's try this out, try it out. Suppose we have given the input 3, 5, and we will execute. Now we have received the result as 8 in the JSON format. So this was the implementation of Fast API using post method.